At that point, for real, bro, where I just be wanting to, like, it's a lifestyle and you got to change your diet. I know diet is everything, but I don't care. I like my cookies, my candy.
Oh man,
and so
that's what I got to. That's what I got to cut back on.
For real.
I had her baking cookies all the time.
But I say this all the time, bro. People like you and me, though, I feel like we got the cheat code, and this is the only reason why I say we got the cheat code, because we're bigger guys.
Yeah.
So we don't really look bad with weight. Versus
That's true.
A smaller frame person, if they gain 15 pounds, you can look at them and be like, woo. But us, they be like, okay, you may got a little bigger, but you still, at least for me, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, it don't never really be nothing. I'm married to a chubby chaser, so my wife never wants me to lose weight. Like, never. Nah, like she hated it. Like, I go to the gym and stuff, she's like, okay, you can lift weights, but don't do too much cardio.
I need some cardio, bro.
No, that's what I say. We're going to go ahead and hit that park up, man. Like what I said, when I used to go to the park just on some, like, clearing your mind and getting your day started. That's what I liked it more or less than just even a cardio, because I was out there. The weather was nice, especially like Spanish Lake Park. They got the lake. It just be pretty cool. If I'm stressed out or something, drop the kids off, I'd be ready to conquer the rest of the day. But, like, I don't know if I'm going to ever, I ain't going to lie, I don't think I'm going to ever just give up like double stuffed Oreo.
Double stuffed Oreo.
Man, I love some double stuffed Oreo with the milk and all that. Like I said, I go through my moments where my rule of thumb is just my clothes. I want to look a certain way in my clothes.
Yeah, that's me too.
And once it's not looking the way, I'm like, okay, I need to go ahead and scale back. But if I look right in my clothes, I'm not thinking about working out.
Yeah, that's me too. Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna lie, but I don't know, but it was just something in me looking at it. I was like, yeah, I need to get back down. At least 15, 20. How many would you say from then?
I mean, the scale doesn't reflect. You know?
No, I ain't been on the scale.
So,
I'm talking about what I looked at today.
Maybe about 10 to 15 pounds.
Okay, I got to lose 10 to 15. Yeah. So check this out.
Okay.
I'm working out some details now for my next concert. I'm trying to put it together, so make sure that I come through.
Yeah. Let me ask you this question real quick, because I even battle deal with this. I always look at it like it's a mental thing. What if, like, you look the way you look right now, right? But let's just say hypothetically, you stood on the scale, and the scale straight said you're 20 pounds lighter. Just think about that for a minute. Would you still be like, dang?
Yeah, because
I need to lose some weight.
I haven't been on the scale.
Okay.
It's just I know that I've gained weight just looking at myself.
Just looking at yourself?
Yeah. So it's more like that, man. I mean, like the chicks, I look from the side. I don't look as lean as I did, y'all. They be trying to look thick from the side.
I'm trying to look thin. Bro, I won't even. Hey, I just was at Macy's yesterday, and I hate all the mirrors.
Oh, wow.
Because I be walking past, I be like, ooh, okay, chops. You need, especially like a person my frame. I always got like the dad belly. Like my belly is always rounded, no matter if it's even when I lose weight, it's still gonna be.
I've noticed that too.
You know what I mean?
In weight loss, because a lot of times, like I lost a lot of weight.
Yeah.
So, but in it, I still feel the same because it's just
it's like taking a pear and you just got a smaller pear, but it's still a pear.
Same everything.
Yeah, and I be like, that's the part that like messes with my mind. Because my wife would even say, like, she like, Tyrone, you really lost weight, but I'm like, I'm still
you looking at yourself,
shaped the same, but then I'm like, to change your shape, you either got to get surgery or you really got to go hard to actually turn a pear into into a whole different shape. So I think that's always a lifelong struggle.
You know, man, that was the same thing.
Yeah, we do. What you mean? You think you think I'm the only person be at the crib? Like, damn,
I think it is every day of my life.
You thought I was a diva?
He said, he hate looking at me. Every time I pass a mirror, I be like, oh my God, I just didn't know that you guys did.
Oh, it's every day, all day.
I have that moment sometimes.
No.
God, you did your thing, And sometimes, I just got comfortable being me. That's one of the things we always talk about. And I'm sorry, y'all. Give me the middle camera.
Yeah.
Welcome back. We can start already, so I know I don't even know how much before we're gonna keep, but welcome to Trigger with my guy.
Yo, what's up? This Chops, man. What's going on? I'm glad to. It feel like we ain't been here in about 2 months for real.
That's what it feels like.
For real, man.
Yeah, I'm Joaquin Music. Also, Man, whatever. You about to leave. You got to go on vacation tomorrow.
Yeah,
right?
bro.
I'm jealous.
I'm here mentally, kinda, but the other part of me can't wait to go.
Everybody on vacation on me. I'm listening to Joe Budden. They on vacation now, and I'm like, man.
Cause, bro, you gotta have I just think vacation. But I don't care if you single, married, kids, no kids. I've always been the type of person you should at least take some solo vacation time to yourself.
So let me ask you this: how does that work? Because I've never done that in a relationship, not because of trust issues, but just more so. I never thought to I don't know. Well, or I've never seen a lot of people do it. A lot of people don't know how to vibe by themselves. I can vibe by myself, or I can go and just completely unplug. Right. But just being in a relationship, how is that? Because you may have a partner that may not be as understanding of you needing your you time.
Okay, it's funny you say that. So the only person that even encouraged me to do it was my wife.
Okay.
And the only, I always wanted to do it, but I think traditionally as a man, in the back of our head, I'm going to say in the back of my mind, you always ask yourself, man, does my wife or does my lady really trust me to go somewhere without her, especially to any getaway place, Vegas, LA, or whatever. So my first time doing my dedication was last year. Okay. And I was like, man, so what happened was I was supposed to go to Vegas with a friend of mine. Okay. But like all people, dudes, I can't speak for women because women,
but more girls will end up, it'll be 15 girls that say they're going to go and end up being 5. But dudes, you went by yourself. I see what happened.
Yeah, so I got this partner, right? And I always be trying to encourage him. And so, he was kind of in a dark place in his life. So I was like, bro, let's go to Vegas. And I'm like, man, trips to Vegas are so cheap. Plane tickets, hotel. I'm like, it's really not expensive to go. So it took me a minute to convince him. But in the back of my mind, I kind of always knew, like, man, he gonna flake on me. Yeah. So I booked the flight, bro. Yeah. And then he ended up pulling out. So I was talking to my wife about it. I'm like, man, I'm tired of not being able to go somewhere because I can't find nobody to depend on. Okay. She was like, well, you should go. And so I was like Scooby-Doo. I was like, for real? Yeah, we always had a trusting relationship, but we realists at the same time. So when she was like, I should go, it was at the same time, it was a test for me too. Not saying I'm gonna even do nothing, but just the fact that you always say what you would or you wouldn't do until you actually in the situation. Okay. Me going to Vegas, I was like, okay. So she was all for it. So I went to Vegas, and I was like a fish out of water, just in theory, meaning how am I supposed to act? What am I supposed to do? But then I had to shake myself and my wife said it's okay. I'm a grown man. I'm a faithful man. My kids are taken care of. I was like, Chops, go have fun how you want to have fun. So last year, that's what I did. I ended up going to Vegas for solo. 6 days solo. So hold on. Yeah.
Well, when you're talking about this got me thinking, I need your advice. And this is yours too, but So, okay, my cousin hit up. We're talking about trips. Okay. He hit up a few weeks ago, and he wanted to do a cousin's trip. He's like, man, I got somebody that got some tickets to, some football suite tickets, NFL. Let's take a road trip. I bet how we gonna do it. He worked for hotels, and I'm like, okay, we'll figure out the rental. I do the rental, whatever, because we just figure it out. Mm-hmm. And we were talking. He's like, yeah, dude, won't bring the tickets Thursday, blah 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 blah. Okay. This was a few weeks ago, and so I hit up today because I got a call about a gig for that weekend. And we know niggas be flaking, so I'm like, do I be like, man, I don't want to. Totally disregard the cousin trip because I definitely don't want to do that. But if I don't have a definite answer, then what the fuck am I supposed to do? Because here's the thing: we haven't talked since that. It was a Sunday. Remember, it was a Sunday. We haven't talked since then because we don't talk all the time. Me and my other cousin did because his birthday was Monday. Okay, and we talk anyway. So I hit the group chat this morning after I got the phone call about the gig. Right. And I'm like, hey, what's up? I said, yo, that's all I said was in the text. And he was like, oh, yeah, because dude's supposed to give me the tickets next week. I'm like, nigga, you said that last time. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if he flaking or dude flaking, but I don't want to miss no money. What should I do?
So, this is where I feel like us as guys, man, where we kind of fall off the boat is I can only speak for me, bro.
Okay.
If you real enough to say, hey, look, like what you just said is what needs to be said.
Yeah.
I ain't trying to miss out on no money.
Well, I told him in the text.
And this sound like it may be kind of flaky if not, but for real, I kind of want to go with this. I feel like I'm gonna flip it. It's almost like I heard women say this, bro. Women be like, when a man is up front, now you give me the opportunity to make the decision for myself.
That's
if
true.
you give me all the information.
Well, yeah, that's.
So I feel like you should. So you give him all the information. I feel like you putting the cousin in position to how he want to take you not going if you decide you want to do the gig. Because I look at it like cousin's trip, that would be dope. But where you at in your life right now, I would honestly say, bro, you need to go ahead and do this gig. Because you remember the conversation we already had about, man, this season in our life to where I just feel like it's time to. Man, it's time to perfect who we are, but like we were saying, who we are isn't just a one-dimensional thing. So
that's me as
I
well.
think they have to respect it because I mean, but what you feel about it? Do you want to go?
I would like to go to the trip, and I feel like he's been trying to rekindle more of a relationship between all of us, but it's weird because. He always assumes that he's like, yeah, man, family ain't what it used to be. Like, well, nigga, where you be at? We always together. So I think it's some of that trying to get back together deal, but at the same time, I'm all trying to get some paper too. You know, it's Christmas coming up, things. I want to do, you know what I mean? Yeah. So it's just I don't know. I'm gonna sleep on it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna sleep on it while we're doing this podcast. So I gotta let the lady know immediately after.
Oh, for real?
I'll make my decision.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, I think either way it go. I mean, but it go back to being grown. I feel like when you grown, us as men, whether we cousins, brother, family, it should be a point to where there should be no feeling some type of way about whatever decision we make as men. It should it should just be the standard. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey,
I agree. I totally agree in that. And like, sort of in what you were saying is what I was telling him. Like he had come to our, it was her party, my mom's party, my sister's party, and my partner Wayne. You know, their birthdays right there together. So they had a party together. And so there's 4 different people. So they got their sections, boom, boom, boom.
Right.
He's like, yeah, man, I had to get out there, man. Family all separated. I'm like, nigga, so you wanted all the cousins to be sitting together and avoiding all the guests? Like, what kind of weirdo shit is that?
People, I just feel like relationships in general, I don't believe you should have dynamics. Relationships to me is like flowing water. It flows wherever it's allowed to flow. And I feel like if you look at a creek or a river, they put dams and stuff to try to force the water to either stop or go somewhere else. I feel like that's what we as people do. Think about it. Your cousin might want to chill with you.
Right.
See you with me, feel some type of way. Now he want to put something in between me and you because he don't want the relationship. And I feel like a lot, especially guys, we be doing that stuff low key. And we talking about that like male groupies and all that crap. And I just feel like it's because people, I just feel like all of us maybe to a degree, we be insecure about relationships and how they develop with other people. Yeah. And I feel like we can miss out on connections because, my cuz feel like we all need to sit together.
Yeah.
But you never know what guests it might kick off and the guests might turn into the extended family. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. I agree with that.
So I just feel like that.
I wanted to allow the opportunity at least. You know what I mean? But like I said, it don't look like it's panning out, man. You just touched on something interesting, man. We do be talking about male groupies. That's crazy, man. Guys are weird, man. I think it's a lot of. It seems like for some reason they're trying to erase gender. So in that, I'm not so traditional with certain shit. You know what I'm saying? I believe. Well, let me see what you think.
Okay.
Because I'm gonna let you answer. What do you think about gender roles in relationships?
Man. It's like I go through everything that's a topic, so to speak. So my situation.
Right.
I worked at FedEx for 15 years, from 99 to 2014 when my daughter was born. So when my wife got pregnant with my daughter, my wife was like, hey, look, I'm not an infant type of a mother. I love babies. To this day, I love babies. So we had an agreement. I was like, well, 15, see you later, FedEx. So I left FedEx after 15 years and became a stay-at-home dad
I remember that.
with my daughter.
Right.
until she started pre-K.
Wow, yeah.
My wife is a hustler, a go-getter, so I got all flack.
Yeah.
And we was traditionally, man, you the man of the house. You supposed to work. You supposed to do this. You supposed to do that. But me and my wife looked at it like, but if me and you are together, we have to do what's best for us.
Absolutely.
But my old man, people was looking at me like I was crazy. So they're like, you gonna let your wife work and you just gonna sit at home with the baby? I'm just the type of person, yeah. That's what it is. Yeah, like that's what it is.
That's
and so
what it is.
But it took a lot of people. So the first time I was a stay-at-home dad was from 2014 to 2017. And it took like that 3 years of us being solid on, I don't care what you say, this is what it is, this our house, this is how we run it, for people to respect it, because people didn't respect it. People at my job thought I was crazy. You finna leave your job after all this time and just stay at home and your wife. But I felt like that was a case where you have to throw out traditional gender roles and figure out what works best for us. Kind of like me and my wife always say this, we like a sports team. The best teams that win the championship is when the coach know where to put the right person in the right position. I don't care if like Steph Curry, they used to say he was too small. Now, if they would have stuck with tradition, Steph Curry would have never been who he is.
Exactly.
You look at tradition, if you know you terrible with money. My old man come from the tradition where the man take care of everything. He pays all the bills. He gives out the stipends to the house. But you might be terrible with money. But you know your wife is great with money.
Right.
So why don't you just be like, hey, look, babe.
Me personally, I never have an issue relinquishing anything.
Anything, yeah.
Because I'm just the type of person that believes every situation is its own thing. You know, it's case by case with everything.
Exactly.
Because the only thing that's black and white is what I'm going to tell you. You know what I mean? Because I don't like to sugarcoat nothing. And a lot of times, I think that's the hesitation of what we were talking about earlier, trying to make the decision. Because somebody got to take the L. So it's not going to be me. I'm going to tell you that. But the gender roles and erasing different traditions is still all stems back to when we talk about being comfortable with yourself. Yeah. Like you have to be comfortable with and there's certain things that I had to I don't even know, I say overcome, or I just had to be more comfortable with me and realizing that it's corny, I don't know where the happiness is. I don't give a shit about nothing else. You know what I mean? Because I've created kind of this, that I've created the life I wanted in sectors, and I'm working on other sectors. Yeah. But home was first, and it's just home is not just the house, but you know what I'm saying. The home.
I know exactly what you're saying.
My relationship dynamic, the people that I deal with, and I just really have zero tolerance for negativity or overstepping bounds. Overstepping boundaries or nothing, man. I'm real quick with the stiff arm. I'm hard.
I'm like that too. I'm hard. I had to learn to be like that because I'm overly sensitive by nature. Like I come from my mom's side.
People think I am because I'm a Cancer, but I'm not. You think I'm sensitive?
Not at all.
See, I'm telling you. So I'm a words of affirmation type of man. Words mean everything to me. Okay. So you can build me up with what you say, and honestly, you could crush me with what you say.
What about silence? Does that make your mind, it
just make my mind wonder, but it's like what you say. So back kind of to the sports analogy, I'm just the type of person, when I played football, what the coaches said dictated how I performed. Okay. So if they said something good, hey, come on, you can do it, I'm going to give it. But if you don't say, I'm just that type of a person, because I think I've always dealt with being a chubby kid, being teased, being real sensitive about words. I still deal with those demons. Okay. You get what I'm saying? The demon of the fat child is still right here. Yeah. And I got it at arm's length, but it's always trying to creep its way back.
Keep your arm out.
Right. Yeah. So what you were saying, that what keeps me to keep it back, I have to be okay with who I am. Yeah. Because as soon as I'm not okay with who I am, here comes them demons from my past, and it's gonna tell me everything I don't like about myself, or what people say they don't like. Man, I'm gonna tell you something so real, bro. I'm gonna tell you something so real. Just last night, right? My daughter, she looked just like me. Usually, she just likes me.
Yeah, but you ain't your dad.
Yeah, she looked just like me. So she had something on, and I was finna tell her to change it. And I'm not lying, man. God was like, don't you project your insecurities on your daughter. I literally was finna, what I'm insecure about within myself, I was finna literally tell her what not to wear because I'm insecure about it. She 8 years old. She don't.
But
does that make any sense?
It was 8-year-old appropriate though. Right?
Yeah, no, it was 8 year old.
Right.
It was just how I viewed it from a insecure position.
I got you.
I was finna literally project. I'm like, and I said, dang, my daughter ain't, cause just something like, man, I can't even explain it. Like, she had on this particular shirt. It was age appropriate, but she a little chubby.
Okay.
My insecurity went to, a big shirt.
I got you.
You get what I'm saying? But why would if I would have said that now I'm planting a seed in her to make her feel like something that I feel like you're supposed to do, because sometimes to hide my belly, I try to wear something extra big.
Okay.
So it was like, why would I do that to my daughter at 8 years old when who am I to dictate to her? She might be fine. I mean, she was fine with it. Right. You get, and so I'm glad like God kind of caught me in the moment of subconsciously, because that's what was done to me. So my mom, real quick, so I like candy and cookies. So I would come home from school crying for being teased. Okay. So the way my mom coped with me, hey, you want some brownies? Hey, you want some cookies? You want some candy? That was her way of trying to console me, but it was really kind of adding to the situation.
Yeah, I was going to say, how do you feel about that?
I used to resent her for that until I matured and realized it was coming from a place of love. She didn't really know any other way to express that. Does that make any sense? So it was like, whatever you want to make you happy, Tyrone. You know what I'm saying? It was like...
So what do you think about that? So, not necessarily in your instance, being a parent, you realize, one, your parents was trying to figure it out when they were you, and two, you realize, being a parent, how do you deal with the child that maybe has the insecurities? Do you favor the side of everything gonna be cool or da 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 da, or do you feed them the F them, you the best, blah 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 blah? So, because I think it needs to be a balance, because some people have false senses of reality because of whatever method they chose to use to try to help them get through what they got through, and then they grow up in life. So it's always a tough balance trying to be realistic with your kid. And you know what I'm saying, that I don't know what it is. I still have issues with it, but I just find myself just like, hey, let's have a real conversation about some stuff.
I think with me, because I got a about to be 15-year-old son, an 8-year-old daughter, and a 4-year-old toddler. Like I said, my daughter is just like me. She's very sensitive with words. So I have to be very, very careful of how I approach her with what I say, because she's going to hold on to exactly what daddy says. Even if it's a messed up thing. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
So when it comes to my daughter, I find myself being very unbalanced because I start to act like my mama. So she feel, oh my God, it's just okay. We're not having no dialogue to help teach. I'm just trying to shield her. But I realize
you got an opportunity
to work on it. But I think my daughter, bro, I'm not gonna lie, like I get emotional thinking about it right now. Like, man, my daughter is so different because, like, ever since I was 7 years old, I wanted a daughter. Listen to me, bro. When I say I was a 7-year-old boy, a desire of my heart, I wanted a daughter.
Oh, wow.
You can ask my mama, my aunts, I always wanted a daughter. Married my wife, she had my oldest son already. So we planned to have a baby. Right. She wanted a girl. And what do you know? We straight had a girl. Then, let me just add this. Listen to me. I'm not lying when I say this, bro. When I used to be like, I wanted a daughter, she came out just like I wanted. I wanted her to look like me. I'm not lying. Like, that's so beautiful. When it comes to my daughter, she strikes a different chord, and it's like, I know I can't protect you from what's about to happen. But boy, if I could keep you just in this little bubble, I would. So it challenges me once again. When we talked about getting back to what we were saying, it forces me to be real with myself so I can change myself. I know when it comes to my daughter, I'm extra sensitive with her. I'm going to extra feed into what my wife called the foolishness. My wife is kind of like the warden. My wife, straightforward.
That used to be me, and I had to chill, man. I got to a point, like you said, you're figuring it out as a parent. Mm-hmm. And one of the luxuries that I never had was to be, I never lived in the same house with my baby.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So that's something that I miss. Mm-hmm. So raising a child from two different households is different. Because, you got to be on the same page. I mean, people aren't on the same page in the same house. So it's even more intensified. And at a young age, it was weird. It's just learning to pay attention. But, she used to play her mother against me. But me and her mom used to beef like, saying, like Bloods and Crips. Yep. You know what I mean? Now we back tight. That's my sister on my daughter's side.
Yeah.
So, but now it kind of put my daughter in an awkward position because she don't have an out. Because now we on the same page. So we got this communication going. But in the communication, it came from just growth. But I remember it was a time I used to be tripping. I don't want no nigga around my daughter.
Right.
All that. I was real stupid and wild and out. And I'm like, nah, I want no nigga around my daughter. And I'm like, man, that was... If she have another baby, man, I hate it. My daughter got a little sister. That's my favorite person in the world. When I'm having a bad day, I call and FaceTime her.
But you know what, man? I was like, what you said so much stuff. It's like this. When you first, part of your growth as a person dealing with your parents, you have to first understand, man, like you just said, my parents are trying to figure it out like I'm trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Once you realize your parents, they your parents, but they still just regular people.
Yeah.
Flawed and all. Good things about them, bad things about them. So I'm saying it to say, so I'm way more straightforward with my oldest son.
Yeah. I
tell him like, hey bro, this is me. This ain't daddy right now. I'm just, I be trying to low key teach him to decipher between this is my dad, but this is still Chops. This is still Tyrone. This is still him as a person. Mm-hmm. He trying to figure things out. Like I tell him that, so I say, man, I'm still trying to figure it out too.
I found myself telling him.
Yeah, and it's like with me, bro, it's like I come from a split background. My parents was married. Mm-hmm. They got a divorce. My dad remarried. He been married to my other mama for like over 30 years.
Right.
So at first, I would live with my mom and my two sisters. My dad got remarried, had my brother. Okay. So I live with my mom. So I live in a house full of women. Then I would go visit my dad, which is my other mom, my dad, and my brother.
Right.
And so dealing with two different households, two different parenting styles. My dad was I'm a preacher's kid. I'm living in a preacher house with my dad, my mom. We lit. You know what I'm saying? So so my mom and my other mother. I never say my stepmom. I know this is gonna be a serious podcast like this, but it's all good. So I tell people this all the time, bro. If it had not been for my other mother, I would not be the parent that I am to my oldest son. Because like I said, me and my wife met in January. By June, we was married.
Yeah.
When we got married, my oldest son was 1. Right. I didn't even talk to females with kids at all. So I went from a husband and a father like that. Mm-hmm. But when my dad got remarried, when he got remarried, my other mother, I'm not lying, bro, she never treated me like I was her stepson or my sister. Just like, I'm not trying to take your mama place, but you like my son. But she wasn't just saying it, it was in deed and action consistently. Mm-hmm. So I was living with my mom. My mom had a little gambling problem. We ended up being homeless. So that's how I ended up moving with my dad because we didn't have nowhere to live. Mm-hmm. Bro, my other mother did more for me than my daddy did at the time. Like it had my other mother already had me on the occupancy permit. So I'm not lying. We had no place to live on a Friday. Mm-hmm. By Tuesday, I was registered in school with my dad. Yeah. It stuck with me. So when I married my wife and she had my son, it was this before I had kids of my own. Yeah. It was this is my Steph, this is you mine. And he clinged to it, and so it taught me. As you talking this, I'm thinking about the steps in my life that kind of made me who I am in terms of I'm okay with being who I am. Because I look back on it like, this happened, this helped me here. I seen this happen. My mom and my other mama used to beef in the beginning. Yeah. They still ain't really cool to this day. My daddy been married over 30 years.
Wow. Yeah.
Go figure. You know what I'm saying? So I see the consequences of certain decisions. So, and I'll just be real again. Me and my mom to this day aren't really close because when we lost a place to stay, my sisters went with my grandmother. I knew I was going to my daddy's house. I knew it wasn't even a question, but and now watch this. I was 12.
Right.
It was supposed to be temporary.
Okay.
But in my heart, I knew I was never coming back. But I didn't have a heart to tell Mom Dukes. So I told my mom, when you get on your feet, I'll be back. Mom gets on her feet, I'm my mama's only son. You get what I'm saying? So when she got on her feet, she was like, "What's up?" I'm like, "Nothing." Look, I'm chilling, like, because I knew, and I'm saying this all to say, I lived in a single parent home with my mom and my two sisters. My other mom and my dad, preacher's kid, career, business owners. It was structure and order. I knew I needed that. So it wasn't no slight against my mom, but I knew
what you needed.
I needed that structure. You get what I'm saying?
That is great, man. Even though you, when you got older, you learned to be more comfortable with being Chops, Tyrone, whoever you felt like you needed to be at the time. But what I see in your story is you still always had an idea of what you should have been doing. Yeah, and that's a good thing because a lot of people they just totally disregard what should be done. Yeah, and for no good reason. A lot of times, man, people are definitely weird, bro. Yeah, it's like but a lot of people say I'm weird. Just like my different dynamics and relationships and friendships. Like I just told you, my BM tight. You know, we go to something. I'm like, man, I'm finna go to my BM party, blah, blah, blah. Yo, lady going, yeah, nigga. What you living like white people, like nah. I mean, it's like, I just don't believe in having unnecessary tension. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Because it takes the same, it actually takes more energy to do the bad thing. But, you know what I mean? It's just, if you got the same amount of time to do what's right and wrong, and it makes no sense to do what's wrong, why do you do it?
But plus, I feel like as a man, when I know who I am, and I always say, knowing who I am, being real doesn't mean I'm right. But at least I'm real enough, you know. And I could be wrong. Look, you correct me if I'm wrong. I just believe women just want to know what they're dealing with, so they can make a decision. Like,
absolutely.
If I know what I'm dealing with now, I got the power enough to say, nah, I ain't dealing with that. But when guys don't know who they are, they begin to act like something they're not. Yeah. And some of them are very convincing, so they lady believes that it's this person, and we all sitting back like,
catfish.
Boy, he ain't nothing. And ain't like Jay-Z said, it's only so long fake thugs can pretend. Absolutely. Over time, whoever you are, it's gonna come out. It may take 10 years of your marriage, it may take 5 years of but it's gonna come out. Then the woman like, oh my God, my wife would even say that. She was like, I feel like when I first married you, I married your representative. Because she did, because my transition was so fast. Yeah. I thought what I need, because I grew up in a 2-parent household with my dad. I seen how it was. So I was like, but in reality, I wouldn't even do half the stuff that they do. Yeah. But it took us some time to where I had to just be like, I told you, me and my wife, I'm like, man, I just got to be real with you so you can know. I told my wife before, bro, you know, my wife real spiritual. Her friends straight fasted and prayed for me for like a week because I was dealing with lust. I had to be real and tell. I say, look, I'm just like, look here. I'm dealing with lusting at the other women outside of my marriage. I'm just being real with you. I need help. Yeah. But I had to know who I was to be able to deal with whatever consequence, because she could have did something different and been like, so what, you over here But I was willing to take that risk to be free because I had to be free within myself. Because freedom just means you can't dudes be selfish. You can't have your cake and eat it too. You owe it to your family, you owe it to your kids, you owe it to your wife, you owe it to yourself to at least be real enough so they know what they dealing with. Like, don't be a dope head and then you act like you clean and sober and then all of a sudden the VCR and the TV missing because you really on dope. I know cats that's like that. Like, why would you put all that energy, like you said, in the faking?
Yeah.
And then you know you ain't never been faithful to one woman. But you're going to try to convince her, or you probably did convince her, and then it ends up coming out that that ain't really you. I just feel like that's unfair because growing up, my dad was always fair with me. I didn't like all the stuff that he did, but he never faked with me. Yeah. He like, this is what it is. Yeah. You ain't going to like it, but I respect it.
It's kind of, we circled back to what we were going to have the topic about when we got so good.
Yeah, my bad.
It was the Denzel clip. No, it's perfect.
Yeah, the Denzel
because it brings
clip.
it back full circle. We close it out just about when on fences.
Yeah.
When he told his son, like you, I don't gotta like you.
I gotta like you.
I have an obligation to take care of you, and blah 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 blah. So we had a conversation about that last week, and I kind of want to get into that to see like me personally. I understood what he was saying. But you told me it was something that triggered you because of how things were delivered to you. You know what I mean? The delivery was harsh, but there was a delivery. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I've gotten better. Like I said, man, a lot of people missed the message because they're worried about how it was delivered. You know what I mean? But I can't expect me from other people. And that's one of the things that I have to work on because I'm always... So
I do
like
this, I'm
like
expecting you to do this.
Exactly. Or know how I am enough to know what I like or how things will be. Because like every decision that I make, I make it not on rapid fire, but my brain is thinking so fast that I'm going to think about how this affects who before I make the decision. No matter like what it is, like. And I'm an accommodating person because I want you to be comfortable. This is the type of person I am. Like you said, when you came in, like, oh, you got my water. I'm like, I have that type of stuff. Raise the type of person that I am. So sometimes I expect that from people, or just the same consideration, and it's not delivered. But I never miss the message because the message is delivered in a way. I'm just the type of person. Okay, I ain't like what you did. But let me figure it out. But most times,
I think it's learning too, though. Everybody ain't like that. Some people, the delivery does matter.
Yes, what I'm saying.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
can't expect me from people. So tell me about the part that triggers you in the clip.
So, like I said, my dad had me later in life, ex-military, preacher type. We was raised, like, going from my mama's house where we didn't go to church, then going to a house where it's
all about church.
Hey, we going to church, I don't care. So, my dad... I think I always say it's his generation. My dad was born in the 40s. He grew up in segregation. He went to a segregated school. He tell me stories about when he went from segregated to desegregated.
Fences was around somewhere in there.
That's what I'm saying. So my dad more or less has the mentality of what I call the survivor's mentality of back in the day. Yeah. Back in those days, you did have to put up with certain stuff. People could talk to you any old type of way because the opportunities were few and far between. Yeah. But fast forward, life is steadily progressing and steady moving. I used to be like, but Dad, it doesn't happen. Like he taught me, it don't matter if the boss don't like you, it don't matter whatever. You're there for a check, go home. But Dad, I gotta get some respect. You can't just disrespect me. But he comes from the era where they were being disrespected. There wasn't a lot of factory jobs. That's what I'm saying. But living in that time, that I see that's his mentality. So the way he used to come at me, it separated the relationship because everything you say, like when Denzel said, like, yeah, technically you right, you ain't got to be my friend. But if I'm your son, I want to feel like you like me. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. Because if you like somebody, normally you gain some type of grace or favor with them. Yeah. When you like somebody, you let certain stuff slide. You're more understanding. But when you don't, when you say I don't like you and I don't have to like you, so you let me know, this is my margin of error with you. Yeah. That's how I took it. versus, yeah, we may not necessarily be friends, go hang out and have a beer, but I do have a liking for you, Tyrone, because I'm named after my dad.
Right.
His name Tyrone, but they call me my middle name to separate in the family. So he'd be like, I want to be like, but do you like me, Dewan, as a person?
Okay.
You get? I understand the role as a parent. I get that.
Yeah.
But I'm still a human being with feelings. So when you say something to me like when Denzel said, I ain't got to do nothing, but make sure you got food, make sure you go to school, make sure you got clothes, then in my mind, they go tell it to your wife and see what happens. Tell her as your husband, all I got to do is she going to have an issue with that because she's more than just somebody you provide for. She's somebody you're married to and you have a relationship with. I look at it the same thing with kids. My son, I mean, we talked about this. Mm-hmm. You know what? You're right,
like
Dylan.
Bria taught me that.
You're right, Dylan. If I say you're a part of this household, then your opinion should hold some type of weight. Mm-hmm. If we buy a new couch, yes, I should ask you, what do you think? Not just get a couch. Come on, he may not like it. Mm-hmm. So it made me look at that like that old mentality of, I get it, because back then, you had to be a little tougher and deal with bigotry and racism. But come on, even now me and my dad still go back and forth. I'd be like, but bro, you gotta let me, I don't care. Not only I demand that you respect me as a man because you my dad, you're right. Like, no, you have to like me. That's how I'm playing. I know you gotta like me, Dad. Like, because I'm a human being, I'm a person. Yeah. We talked about this. It can't be one dimensional. Being a father cannot just be, I'm a father. No, sometimes I'm gonna have to be my daughter's friend. Sometimes I'm gonna have to learn how to be her confidant. Sometimes I'm gonna have to learn to be her relational counselor. Sometimes I might have to talk to her about sex. But if I just break it down,
disciplinary.
That's why. Yeah, I suck at that part.
Like Cece got that.
Now Cece gonna come in and she gonna, whoa! I'm the part because I'm gonna be real with you, bro. I'm like that too because I grew up around men who show no emotion, no compassion, no concern. So I want my kids to know I might even be soft to y'all, but you can never say that my daddy didn't love me. Yeah, and I kiss my kids. Like, look, bro, I still my 15-year-old. I still kiss him, like on the forehead, on the cheek. Yeah. I still hug him because I feel like, as a man, my daughter needs to be saturated with that. Yeah, I'm talking about like soaking wet with my daddy loved me to the point to where you get what I'm saying.
No, I totally get it because the daddy issues is what. Yeah, a lot of the issues that are going on in the world today are stemming from, the daddy issue. So I definitely understand.
My dad and my sister ain't close.
Yeah, he didn't show that. I'm big on showing love. Yeah. Do I do good with that?
You do. And from that clip, I don't think he was saying that I don't like you. I think in that moment,
I have to.
Right. I think in that moment, that was what he was teaching in that very moment. So I think it's really, really important that you have to know what type of child you are parenting. Yeah. Because you can say that to one child and may not be able to say that to another. Absolutely. They carry that for the rest of their lives. So sometimes conversations are meant to be hard like that, but sometimes there needs to be a follow-up conversation. Yeah. So I just think in that moment, I don't think he was saying, hey, I don't like you. He was saying, but I don't have to. But understand what I'm doing.
He's just preparing them for the work.
Exactly.
Yeah, now that I'm with. And I used to do a lot of that, well, not the way he did, but just, like you say, how you talk to Dylan, like I've always been straight up with Jaquela since she was a kid. Like my partner Larry, like, man, you talk to her like she grown. Like, I have a conversation, I'm like, because, like I've always, so, let me think. So, you say you grew up around men who were just stern and didn't show love. Mm-hmm. I think I grew up around that too, and I think a part of me,
I only had one man.
Okay, well, I got you. But I'm saying, like, with me, I compartmentalize a lot of things, and I take everything case by case. But so I grew up around the stern, strong man too. My uncles, my uncle hated me. When I got older, that was my partner. It was just tough love. So I always understood it. I never took it too personal. Yeah. I think I just try to, since me, I'm a thinker. I don't do too much talking. So I'm going to always, I'm running formulas through my head. Like, what does this mean? What does this mean? What does this mean? What does this mean? It's like, that's why I can't sleep. I still got the love as well. You know, of course, I got it from, you know, my mom.
Yeah.
You know, I knew my dad loved me. I didn't like this. One of the things that I got from my dad is like anger, and like just like my son, like so angry and yelling, and I thought that was the way to get shit accomplished. Me and my brother had these conversations like, dog, you know, that Jack Times and shit. That's my dad. That's one of the things that we really try to focus in on. Like his daughters, my twin nieces. Yeah, it's like, man, I had to change. It's like, man, they call me Mr. Fussy Man. I was like, yeah. So realizing those things, I wonder if he realized it. Because one of the things that I realized is the things you don't like about yourself are magnified in your children.
Facts. I'm going to add to what you said. Look, my dad definitely realizes it because he did something a few times over the years. He called all of his kids up and was like, I love you. Mm-hmm. Guess what we did, though?
What,
we called each other.
I was like,
man, is he gonna die?
Oh, okay.
Like, what's going on? Because he never really expressed it.
So my dad never said, I used to make him before he died. He used to call me every day. He drove Uber. We used to talk every day. And I did at the same time. Okay. So he had the same questions every day. But it was cool. It was because he got us closer. Yeah. Before he passed. I'm sorry, go ahead. So y'all called each other.
And so I think my dad, I don't want to pay him. My dad was a great and is a great man. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying in the aspect of his generation, but he shows it in the grandkids now. Because now the way I am with my kids, he's like that with the grandkids. My daddy is in his 70s and he don't have to work, but he worked. My daddy will be on the north side. And be like, you know what? My daughter named McKenna. And be like, I know what? I want to give McKenna some ice cream. This man will stop working, drive from the north side to North County, knock on my door with an ice cream pop in his hand, be like, where McKenna at? Wow. Here you go, and see you later. And he'll just leave. So I see the effort. I don't want to be, so for me, I try to learn from everything. So I'm like, I don't want to be in the later years of my life. Of course, it's still things that I'm probably going to learn as I grow, but it's certain things I want to at least make an effort to change. So in my later years of my life, I'm not sitting back trying to go back over things that I feel like I should have learned at a certain point in my life. Okay. You know what I mean?
So I guess that goes back to the old saying. If you know better, you do better.
You do better, yeah.
And I want all of y'all to do better. Give me the middle camera. Hey, I want to thank y'all for tuning in with me and my guy Chops. Hey, this has been Triggered. If you know better, you do better. And the best thing for you to do is to like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you follow my man. I'll put the moniker at the bottom of the screen and all that good stuff. But I appreciate y'all tuning in and allowing me to release some real stuff aside from me drinking and smoking on camera. But as soon as this camera stops, I ain't gonna pour me a drink and smoke.
Now look, he trying to be all serious. Look, we talking about some serious stuff, so we gonna end up doing some extended podcast because we really be diving into some stuff. Like it's always good on this podcast. I think I kind of, in a sense, just talking to you with this, it helped me put more things in perspective because I do feel like that's a whole other conversation. Guys, we don't talk stuff out. We try to think stuff out. And sometimes when you talk it out, it's more effective than when you try to think it out. You don't realize how it sounds when you get to talking. Like,
I have a lot of conversations with myself.